Hello friends, thanks for joining. I'm here in the Mojave Desert with the family. We just set up our camp. We're not too long on the trail, maybe 20 miles. The old Mojave Road, which was been used by the Mojave natives and the Paiute natives back millions of years ago, probably, I don't even know. But hey, I thought I'd share a little insights that I had. Many of you have seen the ultra marathon video that I shared and did in a couple months ago. There's a lot of leadership lessons in there that I wanted to share with you. First of all, I think setting goals for yourself. 5-ish years ago, probably, maybe 6 years ago, I was barely running a half a mile at a time, and I knew that I needed to improve my overall health. I was overweight by about 20-30 pounds probably. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, could barely run a half mile. Needed to make a change in lifestyle, and I made that change and started setting bigger and bigger goals for myself from a fitness standpoint. And half a mile is what I started at, and half marathon seemed so unreachable, and set a goal with that. Had a great partner, and actually multiple partners in that endeavor. Ran a half marathon and thought that there could be no more, and came to California, and my wife and I, she wanted to do a marathon, so I said sure. We trained for it and finished it and did the whole thing together, which was a great experience. And then really caught the bug and wanted to see what was more, and started to set crazy, seemingly unrealistic, unachievable goals, and led to a ultra marathon endeavor, which I think I've completed maybe 10 or 12 ultra marathons, official and unofficial. And both went from the 50K, which is like 31.1 miles, did 50 milers, 60 milers, and then this last ultra marathon that I self-developed and pretty much self-supported was 100K, so 62.5 miles. Lots of things went wrong with this, lots of things went right with this. Starting off with some of the things that went what I thought was really well was that I finished. And a lot of times it's about the journey, but it's also about achieving your goal, and despite the obstacles. The first thing that sometimes goes out the window is a perfectly made plan, and it is the people who execute that make companies successful, that make themselves successful, and they are nimble and able to lead teams through challenges, over mountains, through rivers, just like we do in our own personal lives. Is how we do it in the corporate world, in the business world. But it took a lot of planning to put this through. The 100K that I had originally had scheduled, the Leona Divide, was a wonderful one. I did the 50 miler last year, but of course with COVID it was canceled. And but I wanted to continue with the training. I wanted to continue with the goal. So it was part of my training, that 100K, as I pursued that ultimate goal of mine. So far was the 100 miler. So I want to do 100K, and then I set the bar even higher than normal. Most 100Ks you'll have aid stations every 5 miles or so, 5 to sometimes up to 10 miles or so. And those aid stations have just the most wonderful people that are so motivating to see, and you're welcomed with smiles and encouragement from a mental aspect, but then from a physical aspect, they've got everything you could ever imagine. They've got your electrolytes, your water, your healthy foods, your bacon quesadillas, your Mountain Dew by the 2-liter bottle, if that's what you need. They've got it all, but I didn't have that. So I had to plan, and I thought that I could do the whole thing self-supported. And I had what I thought was a good plan for self-support. I knew it was going to get hot. I knew that there was going to be a lot of places where I could not get food. With COVID-19, you couldn't just walk into a Starbucks and and get a glass of water like you could on a normal Saturday morning training run. So I knew I had to plan for that, which put me into carrying a lot of weight and water. My pack was 17 and a half pounds, which was a lot of weight to carry, 62 and a half miles in one day, especially while you're maintaining hopefully a 13 to 15 minute pace overall. So I overexerted myself for sure. I believe I ended up with a stress fracture on my foot, so I ended up breaking my foot technically, I guess. But I had a plan. I didn't plan for as much asphalt as I should have thought about. So a lot of those miles, I don't know what I calculated, 1 million or 2 million pounds of pressure on my feet over those miles. That's even without the force. That is just simply the mass. Was really, really hard on my feet on asphalt. And water-wise, I got behind on water. I got my Body Glide, which is super important to prevent chafing. Your body typically doesn't have that much friction on it on a normal basis. At least mine doesn't. Many people maybe. But that really slowed me down when my Body Glide melted. So from a leadership lesson, from a positive, is I had a very well thought out plan. From a negative standpoint, I should have adapted that plan earlier. I should have been zoomed out more. Sometimes when you're deep in the trenches, you get very narrow tunnel vision on that goal, and it's push forward despite any obstacles, and you continue to pursue. Going straight over the mountain, where maybe an easier path would be around the mountain, which I didn't do a very good job of. So it's a good lesson to learn, especially a lesson to learn as you've got nothing to lose really besides aches and pains, and it's not from an organizational standpoint where you may cost the organization a lot of money, or you may cost the organization people their jobs, or positioning for future endeavors for the organization. So I could have adapted better. I could have foreseen as I was in the moment, zoomed out a little bit and said, hey, this plan, if I continue to execute it, is not going to get me to the finish line the fastest. I needed to reach out for help earlier to the family and get some another set of Body Glide sticks. I could have planned to carry less weight and hit more gas stations along the way. I think I hit 7 cities in Southern California as I did this loop. There's a lot of things I think I could have done with respect to that a little bit better. I think the mental aspect, I think, is an amazing thing with ultra marathons, or really any endurance event, or really anything that requires strict mental acuity and focus, and putting down the negative pieces of your brain that says you can't do this, or stop, you're hurting yourself. Your body is so capable, far beyond what the brain hopes you stop at. Right, your brain is in survival mode. It's designed that way to save the body, to save the brain, but you're so capable of doing more, and you've got to be mentally focused, whether it's in your personal life, your professional life. You've got to be super focused and put down the demons that are the negative pieces to what you're trying to achieve from a goal perspective. Those sometimes are really hard to do. Sometimes those voices, those negative voices, are much louder within yourself than the positive ones. And feeding those positive ones and giving the positive ones more attention during those times where you're doubting yourself, or where your plan seems to be dissipating, or you're on the trail and all of a sudden snow turns to rain, and freezing rain, and you're not prepared for freezing rain at the time, and the trail becomes slippery, and you believe you need to quit. Always keep focused and always find the positive. There's very few situations in this world where there's not a 1% chance of success. And if you continue to focus on that 1% chance, and just focus on doubling that to 2%, and doubling that again to 4, and then to 16, and then to 32, and then to keep building exponentially, whether you square it or you double it, it's a way for you to make a negative piece into a very positive opportunity. So hey, thank you so much for spending some time with me this evening in the beautiful Mojave Desert, where the only people I can see, I think visibility today is 10 miles, and I can see as far as I can see is miles, or is mountains all around. The only people I can see are my family, which is perfect. No sounds at all. It's just a very, very calm and peaceful evening as the sun goes down. So thank you. Have a great day.